So the Detroit Lions need another wide receiver. Jamison Williams, the lost child, will be able to return to the facility. I found out today that he cannot attend home or road games. He is still the red-headed stepchild for the Detroit Lions. He cannot do anything, but he can't even practice. He can't practice. He can get treatment, all that other stuff. So anyway, we talked about Marvin Jones and his lack. Where is he at? He had a couple catches in game one, fumbled, and we haven't seen, he's been MIA since. But there's a guy that we talked about Mike Evans. Mike Evans is 30. He's a fresh 30, but he's still balling. I'm not trying to take anything away from Mike, but another guy has popped on my radar. He's been there before, like a little, but then he drifted out of the radar, but now he came back. Okay. And we got to talk about him. There's some good and some bad with this individual, but we got to talk about him. I'm referring to a second round pick in 2020. He was drafted 33rd overall. He plays for the Cincinnati Bengals. His name is T. Higgins. T. Higgins all of a sudden has just come up on my radar, and I'm like, dude is kind of a dog, bro. He's 25 years old. 25 years old. He's 24 years old. He is a second round pick in 2020. Check this out. His stats thus far in 3 games, well, they play tonight, 2 games, 8 receptions, 89 yards. You got Tyler Boyd. You got Jamar Chase. You've got guys over there, right? Could T. Higgins be somebody that the Detroit Lions could entertain? I would say yes. You've got the upside of age on his side. If you get him, then he's going to be around for a while. Mike Evans I say this with respect. I'm not comparing the two, but in age, Mike Evans is on the, y'all like to say, wrong side of 30. We have a receiver that's on the wrong side of 30, which is Marvin Jones. Not comparing the two. It's a totally different thing. Mike Evans is still balling. I watched the highlights last week. Still great. But when it comes to the future, would T. Higgins be a better investment? Braylon says T. Higgins, yeah, go get him. He's going to look for a big payday. That's the next thing I was going to talk about. Grit says if the Bengals lose tonight, T. Higgins is for sale. They will be 0-3. I just read that Joe Burrow is going to try to push through and play. Is that a good thing for the Bengals or a bad thing? But I would say, Nick, finally, something that you're excited about, says St. Brown, J-Mo, and Higgins. Yeah. An elite wide receiver next to St. Brown would be nice, but don't overpay because J-Mo is coming back. Okay. Now, since you guys brought up J-Mo, actually, I brought up J-Mo. J-Mo is unproven. He's unproven. So I love the possibilities, the potentials, and I still got love for the kid. I still holding out hope, but he is unproven. And that's another thing that I'm kind of frustrated with our GM about, is all these, is not willing to take a risk on somebody with a great track record. Now, here is the catch to T. Higgins. T. Higgins, he gonna want to get paid. All right, let me bring this in because I want y'all to see this. I want y'all to see T. Higgins, he gonna want his bread. All right, let me put this back up so I can see. All right. Okay, so T. Higgins, and he is on his rookie deal, right? He's on his rookie deal, 20, 21, 22, 23. So just like he's on year 4, I'm pretty sure that, oh, right, he's a free agent. He's a free agent. Now, let me ask you a question. Again, everybody that we're talking about seems to be a free agent next year. So the Lions could wait, try to get him in free agency, or they could trade. But he is another individual that a long-term contract would have to be connected. I'm thinking 3 years. All right. Now, here is this is the negative part. And I want to know your opinion. Let me bring this in. All right. T. Higgins. His market value is an annual salary of $22.6 million. His market value is a 4-year, $90 million with a $22 million average annual salary, which would put him in the wide receiver rank of 9 and the NFL rank of 39. That is his projected annual salary. I don't think I was supposed to use my transition. There we go. Can't have them and not use them. So my thing is, should the Detroit Lions entertain T. Higgins? I would love to know what you guys say. Let me see what the chat is saying, because I know y'all got scared with that money. Says nice transition. Thank you, sir. Brad Holmes won't pay that. Yes. That's franchise money. Absolutely. And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm kind of tired of that. I'm kind of tired of it. I'm tired of the franchise money. Aren't we trying to build a franchise? And this ain't directed toward anybody in the chat, but I'm tired. I talked about dollar store people. Marvin Jones, okay? Marvin Jones is probably a 5 below, right? Khalif Raymond was a dollar store. Now he's 5 below. Don't they have a store called Simply 10 or something like that? That's a step up from 5 below. It's time to start spending some money. And I'm like, if you get a good player, they're going to demand money and you're going to have to pay them, right? And we have that guy. His name is Amon-Ra St. Brown. He going to want some bread. Penei Sewell, he going to want some bread. Jared Goff, he going to want some bread, right? We going to have to start paying people. You have to be smart with your money. Would T. Higgins be a smart investment? Or do you take a chance on a receiver in the draft? Now, Marvin Harrison Jr. will probably be coming out. He's going to be a first-round talent, no doubt. Will the Detroit Lions try to get him? Everybody else and their mama going to want him. So, I don't know. Listen, any of these guys I'm willing to invest in if we can get a long-term deal. Now, we could also wait. It depends on how close we think we are. We can wait to free agency and court somebody. But here's what I want to see from my GM. I want to see action. I want to see action. I want you to make a splash move that will benefit the team. Not a Trey Flowers. Not one of those guys. I'm talking about a splash move that's going to be a difference maker. How long can we keep what we're doing up? How long can we do that? Because I'm going to tell you what, and y'all know I'm right about this. If the Detroit Lions do not make the playoffs this year, while we won't be talking about firing people, we have to have a conversation. Not about firing them, but what they need to do. Okay? What they need to do. Because, again, winning doesn't cure everything. It covers things. We beat the Kansas City Chiefs. The deficiencies were there, right? Marvin Jones fumbles. We lose to the Seattle Seahawks. Now everybody wants to fire Aaron Glenn. Yesterday, we threw the ball to 4 Detroit Lions. 4. Marvin Jones, no catches. Josh Reynolds, no catches. 4 Detroit Lions. St. Brown had over 100 yards. There's nobody else doing it but him, right? So I'm tired of shopping in the bargain bin. You can find some stuff. I bought Avengers Endgame from the $5 bin at 5 below. Great movie. Added it to my collection for $5. Right? But eventually, you got to spend some money. So would I go for T. Higgins? Yes. You're talking about a second contract. You could lock him up for a minute. St. Brown, T. Higgins, you still got Jameson Williams, whether you pick up his 5th-year option or not, for 3 more years. Come on, man. And you still have the draft. So I don't know. The question is, does he wait, take a chance in free agency, or does he try to pull the trigger for a trade? Let me know your thoughts.